Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to the Girl Talk Oracle podcast. I'm your host, Kiera. Over here on this podcast, we get into all things self-love, healing, leveling up, and becoming the best version of yourself. How are y'all feeling this week? Let's start this Monday off right. Okay, let's start this Monday off in a good mood, a good spirit, a good everything, okay? Like, don't let nothing get in your way. Whatever happened on the weekend was the weekend. It is Monday. It's a fresh start to the week. And I'm bringing some fresh energy here on the pod, all right? Okay, so I do have a audience today. Shout out to my girl Kim. She is sitting over there in the corner. So she's sitting in on a episode. This is my first guest. She's special. So she's like the first person to ever watch me film a podcast episode. Shout out to my baby girl. But the topic of conversation today is a little bit lighthearted because I got to keep it cute. Okay, I got my baby in here, so I'm gonna try not to cuss as much as I normally do. I need to get better at that. Period. Point blank. But anywho, how are y'all? How are y'all feeling? Are y'all the type of people who hate Mondays, or do you love Mondays? Do you work Mondays? Are you off Mondays? Like, what's the tea? Let me know down in the comments. I'm out of breath because I just ran from the kitchen to grab her a chair. But we're jumping straight into the episode this week. So today's conversation is going to be outgrowing people without feeling like the villain. So that's literally what we're going to be talking about today, because in life in general, not even just in relationships, but just in general, when it comes to like friendships, relationships, even family, sometimes you outgrow people and they make you feel like the villain of saying like, oh, she changed up, or she's not this, she's not that, or he's not this, he's not that. And it's like, well, what do you expect me to do? You good? Y'all camera's so funny. But like, what do you expect me to do? Like, I'm not a 17-year-old. I'm not an 18-year-old girl no more. I'm a 30-year-old woman. Of course I've changed. You know what I'm saying? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. And speaking of like friendships in my life, like relationships, friendships, I've removed so many people from my life simply off the strength of like we don't align anymore. And there are some people that's not in my life at this current moment that I still love and hold to my heart dearly, but we're just not close in this chapter of my life, and I'm not in that chapter of their life or whatever the case. But I do feel that some people, get offended when you don't take them on every journey that you are walking. I just feel like some people don't understand. Um, some people just really don't understand the role that they play in your life, good or bad. Because I do believe that sometimes people can come into your life for a season because they're meant to teach you certain lessons and certain things that you're meant to experience in your lifetime. I do have a couple people that I want to give a special shout out to, because when I was going through the trenches of everything that I went through with ending my relationship and stuff like that, I literally called upon like my mom and my sister. It was a point in time where I like had everything bottled up and I couldn't really, I didn't know how to navigate single life, right? And I started to spend the night at my mom's house, and my sister was there, my mom was there. Sometimes my daughter, if she wasn't with her dad, she was there. And we would just spend the night at my mom's house all the time. And it just brought like wholeness back to me, because I do feel that like when you are at a certain space in your life, you do have certain people. Now my mom and my sister are gonna forever be in my life, obviously. But I'm saying in general, sometimes it could be a friend that was meant to come in or come back into your life at a certain point to help you get through something. And I do believe like we signed soul contracts before we come here. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna come into your life at this moment, but then we gonna separate, and then I'm gonna come back around to help you get through this challenge. And I think that that is how life works. Like, you're not supposed to be attached to the hip with not even a husband and wife is supposed to go on every single journey together. I do believe that when you get married, that you're supposed to be a joint union, but there are some lessons in some life lessons and some just things that you go through, challenges that are meant to be fought and won without anyone outside of yourself and source. And speaking of like people that was there, like I have people in my life, and a lot of people just won't understand it because they're like, well, why are y'all are not, it's like people that I'm not like, I don't have that much in common with, but I have enough in common with them just to like be around them and stuff. And I do believe, like, when I was working at my last job, I had a couple coworkers that I would go out with all the time. Shout out to Janetta and Joanna. Shout out to Major too. Um, I had people that I would go out with and we would just have fun. And each of them I feel play a different role in my life. These women are still in my life. They're not like, not in my life anymore, but I'm just speaking on these women in general because when I first started back working, when I started working at at the daycare, um, Netta and Joanna just all of a sudden was like, we need to take her out. Like, cause I was just so timid and just like, I really didn't have friends. Like, I had people that I associate myself with, but I didn't have anybody that was like, that knew me prior to the heartbreak. Cause it's kind of hard to like, talk to people who knew you before the heartbreak because they kind of expect that same version of you. But when it was like, one night I went out and this one I was outside, girl. I went out and I had the time of my life. Like and we just kept like every so often, every weekend, whatever. I was out a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. We would just go out, and I was just having a time. And I feel like that brought like a version of myself that I was missing that I never got to experience. The only people that have ever brought that out of me is my cousins because I've ever really only went to the club with my cousins and that's it. Like I'm not the girl to call when you want to go out to the club. Like I don't know the club spots. Like if you want to go to an aesthetically pleasing little restaurant, go get some ice cream, maybe like a little nature walk in the park, I'm your girl. But when it comes to like finding clubs and parties and stuff, I'm definitely not the girl to call for that type of stuff because I don't be knowing what the fuck going on, okay? But I typically would go with my cousins. So just having like people to take me out of my shell and having people in community to be around, it was just like a wholesome feeling, like, and I built a relationship with those women strictly off of us just having a good time. And then like when it comes to Masia, I feel like she brought out a different version of me. Because I'm not confrontational at all. Like I talk a lot of shit, but I'm not the one to go stirring up drama and just like trying to like pick at people or just like I don't know. Sometimes I just let stuff be, and I think that spirit actually called me to like stop being that way because I let a lot of shit slide off the strength of like it is what it is, and a lot of stuff in my life I started to change because first of all, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to disrespect me. And I learned to hold those boundaries while still staying true to myself, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to cause harm to somebody, but I'm going to let you know right here, right now, that you're not going to fuck with me. Sorry, Kimmy. You feel what I'm saying? And when it comes to Masia, like, she's more outspoken. Like, she's confrontational as fuck. Like, so she kind of like, I feel like just being around people who bring out the best versions of yourself, even if it's like a timid, shy version, I just feel like you need people who are not exactly like you around you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like being around people who are not afraid to speak up and speak their mind in certain situations, it brings out my stomach is growling, honey. I'm always hungry. Like, why don't I ever eat before the pod? But being around people who bring out the best versions of you, or even versions that may not be the best version of you, but is a version of you with boundaries, is a plus in my book. But anyway, I talked a lot for the intro. We ain't even got into Oracle Corner yet. Okay. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into Oracle Corner. The topic we're going to be talking about for this Oracle Corner is going to be losing alignment with friends. Whether that's the mindset, how close you guys are, just being in different spaces, and just life goals being different or whatever. Sometimes you can be in a different space than someone because y'all are, everybody, even though like y'all can be into the same type of stuff. Like me, I have friends that are into content create. I don't have no content creator friends. I was about to lie real quick. Scorpios be lying. We just be lying, girl. But it's like having beauty friends, friends that's into beauty, but then y'all are into different stuff. So I can say that I know people who are into beauty and makeup, but when it comes to spirituality, that's where we kind of like, because they might be more into religion than I am. You feel what I'm saying? So you can be in different spaces than what other people are used to, and that can cause a drift in a friendship. Also, like just having different mindsets. A lot of people are afraid to have different mindsets because the way they were raised, or just because they're not at a place where they're growing. Everybody's on their own journey when it comes to life. So everybody's not going to walk that same walk or talk that same talk like you do. Everybody has not experienced the same things you. You can have people older than you or younger than you who have experienced more or less than you. It does not matter who you are, when you were born, how old you are. You could be 21 years old and have lived a more lavish, fun lifestyle than a 30-year-old woman. You know what I'm saying? And then you could be 30 and have been through more trauma and pain than a 50-year-old. You feel what I'm saying? So it just all depends on who you are as a person and where, like, how you mold your life in the choices that you make. So every choice that we make leads to a different outcome in your life. So if your friend is somewhere making a bunch of life choices and is not aligning to the goals that you have set for yourself, they want to be out at the club, they want to be partying and fighting, you got to watch your back, head on a swivel when you with them. I can't hang with people like that. First of all, I'm not about to be out here fighting. You feel me? I can't hang with people who have enemies, because like I'm not about to be out of the club wondering if some girl about to come up and punch me because you got enemies. No. Like I'm not, and the thing is, like, as a 30-year-old, I got shit to lose. Even when I was in my 20s, I got shit to lose. I'm not fighting. I will call the police on you. Very disrespectfully, I will call the police on you. Carry me, please. Because I'm not gonna be out here fighting, especially when it's not worth fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. That doesn't put, there's no fear. But I'm just saying, like, just to be out here fighting at my big ass grown age is, sorry, get me. To be out here fighting at my big grown age is absolutely insane. Like, I wish I would be out here fighting people at the age of 30, especially over some club drama that probably has something to do with a man, or just some dumb beef between women that could be solved off of simply communicating or simply not communicating. I see you. We don't gotta fight. We just don't mess with each other. Um, so when I say like there been different mindsets, like you could have a girl that you love, a friend or somebody in your life, even a family member that you love dearly, but when it comes to their mindset, it's like I can't hang with you because at the end of the day, I'm not about to be sitting up here looking over my shoulder when I'm with you. You feel what I'm saying? So just different mindsets and different, just being in different spaces in your life. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be there for them, you can't love on them and things like that, but at a certain point, there will be a divide and a distance that grows when you're doing something that they're not interested in, or they're doing stuff that you're not interested in. It's not always the person that is doing the bad, that, or doing the stuff that the bad, I would the bad stuff, I guess you can call it the bad stuff. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. But yeah. And with that being said, I said all that to say, like, your growth is not their growth. Like, the things that you go through, the things that you experience, and the things that you accomplish is not theirs, it's yours. And that's something that I feel like I struggle with a lot when it comes to like me leveling up and just like becoming the best version of myself, because everybody's not on that same journey as me. And some people are just comfortable where they are. And I feel like the message that I have a lot lately, that Spirit's been giving me a lot lately, is that I'm gonna have to walk this journey by myself. And I'm okay with that. Like, I have to go on this road by myself. I can't take nobody with me. The only person that's obligated to come with me is Cameron. She's the only one. And everybody else, I'm not obligated to take nobody with me at all whatsoever. I'm not obligated to do anything for nobody. Nobody is my responsibility. And that's a whole nother conversation. We'll have to talk about that in another video, because I know people probably take that the wrong way. But I'm just saying, like, when I got tunnel vision, I cannot lead the way for people if I don't even know where I'm going myself. And that's what I mean when I say I have to walk alone. Like, why would I take a group of people with me when I'm going to be going into tunnels with no way out? I'm going to be going into dead ends and having to turn back around, wasting y'all's time. Like, I can't take everybody with me. And that's a big, big message that I've been learning on my journey, is that I cannot take everybody with me. So my growth is mine and it's not theirs. And I can't force them to try to share my growth. I can't force my growth and my mindset on anyone, because this is my life and theirs is theirs. And the next thing I want to talk about is how real friendships don't have expiration dates. It don't matter if I don't talk to you for months. It don't matter if I don't talk to you for weeks, months. Real friendships don't have an expiration date. We are at this big grown age, and I'm gonna keep saying this throughout this video. At this big grown age, we got a lot of stuff going on in our lives. So why would we, at this big grown age, be pressed about if my friend have called me in the last 30 days? How about you check and see how she's doing? How about you say, "Hey, you good? Everything's fine. You got anything going on? You need anything?" Instead of just always assuming that somebody's acting fake because they haven't reached out to you in a long time. And for anybody that's ever been a friend to me, because I've not always been a good friend. I will make a video. We're gonna do a video on that coming up too. But for anybody who is a friend of me, like going weeks and months without talking to me, I would never consider you a bad friend for that, because I am one of those friends who do that, and I don't ever want somebody to think I'm a bad friend because I haven't reached out. Now, if I see that you are experiencing something and I'm like, hey, let me check in with her, because everybody know I'm Kiera the preacher, okay? I love to give advice. So when a friend needs to talk to me or call me, or I need to just check in up on a friend, I will do that. But I'm not the type of person to get mad because you have not reached out to me in a long time. Now, am I the type of friend who get upset when I'm keep showing up for you and you're not showing up for me? Yes. But like if we just not like if we're both just not texting each other, calling each other, that's a little bit different. Now, real friends just understand everything is not personal. Everything is not personal. People just really got their own stuff going on, and you can't take everything personal. If you take everything personal, then you probably need to go in and evaluate yourself. A lot of people have abandonment issues when it comes to friendships, and I think that's really the root of how a lot of friendships ends, because a lot of women especially go into friendships looking for partnership as if it was like a relationship. Like they try to treat their friends like their man, and that's not how you're supposed to treat a friendship. A friendship is supposed to be like a sisterhood, an unbreakable bond that you can hold dear to your heart no matter how long y'all go without speaking, or no matter how long y'all go without seeing each other. A sisterhood can live on one side of the country and another one on the other side of the country, and y'all still be as tight and as thick as thieves. It does not matter the location, it does not matter the time or the date. Real friendships do not have an expiration date, point blank, period. So let's get into our affirmation of the week. So the affirmation of the week is, wanting better for myself does not make me the victim. Again, wanting better for myself does not make me the victim. That is your affirmation of the week. And I'm going to leave that there. Oh, we was only at Oracle Corner, baby. I'm yapping today. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Read the Room. The topic of conversation today is going to be growth and how it shifts your circle naturally. So we kind of just spoke about this briefly, but when you are growing and like growing as an individual, you will start to align more with different people and different people in your circles. You'll notice that the people that you once aligned yourself with are people, like I said, that are not, you're not finding yourself resonating with those type of people anymore. And it's like no shade, because it could be the same on both ends. They're probably like, girl, you boring as fuck. All you do is talk about your spiritual journey, and all you do is talk about makeup and da 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 da. I want to go to the concerts and turn up. You know what I'm saying? So it could be on both ends on how the experience could be different for multiple people for multiple reasons, right? So as you grow, as you change, as you evolve, you're going to find different friendships. You're going to crave different connections with people. You're not going to want friendships, relationships that are just at the surface, no depth, no nothing into it, just strictly highs and buys and what you doing and how was your day. Like you're gonna want connections and people that challenge your mind. You're gonna want to be around people who makes your mind wander, makes your mind think, the people who push you to do better, the people who don't, don't sugarcoat things with you, don't hold back, people that are not afraid of your energy. Because as you grow, especially on a spiritual level, the energy that you bring can intensify, and it could really scare people off because they're not used to you being vibrant, bold, loud, and it can literally change the dynamic of your friendship in good ways and sometimes bad. When people are, you know, I hate to say it, but when they're vibrating lower at a lower frequency and you're just being happy and jolly, that can irritate the hell out of somebody who's not in that space and time. There was a time in my life where I was just trying to be so optimistic with things that were going on in my life. And I had this other individual who just did not want to hear the good, did not want to hear that it was going to be okay. And sometimes you just got to let them be at their energy level, you know? Like just because I'm vibing up here and you're down here don't mean that we like don't love each other, we don't like each other. It's just I can't pull you up if you are resistant to be pulled up, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but just instead of like me shrinking myself to be back at that lower level vibration, I just remove myself entirely because I'm not going to keep trying to make you feel what I feel if you don't understand why I feel this way, or why I feel like everything's going to be okay. Because it's hard to convince somebody everything's going to be okay when all they see is the bad. They don't look at the good. They don't remain optimistic. Optimism comes over time. Like, it's not something that you can just train yourself to be like, okay, it's going to work out. And that's just what it is. You can tell yourself, you got to keep telling yourself stuff like that over time. And I'm on a tangent right now. But what I say all of that to say this is just, when you are growing in friendship, when you are growing in relationships, things change, people change, seasons change too. Okay. In most relationships, friendships are around for a good time, not a long time. A lot of people are meant to be in your life for a chapter, not for the whole entire story. It's just like I spoke about previously. It's like when you come here with your life's mission, it's like you have a bond with certain people. It's like, hey, I'm gonna check back in on chapter 15, but right now we're on chapter 8, and I gotta check out real quick because I gotta go handle something with somebody else. Chapter 3, okay. I'm sure I'm just talking shit, okay. But if y'all get what I'm saying, y'all get what I'm saying. Like, somebody, even like I said, husband and wife is not gonna be on the same chapter in the book the entire time, because there's two different books. You can literally have somebody in your life that's there on chapter 5, but when it comes to chapter 6, 7, and 8, they're not there. But they come back chapters 9 and 10 to be in that portion of your life to help you elevate, or whatever the case may be. And I'm speaking on a spiritual level. This is the Girl Talk Oracle podcast, okay? Y'all know I keep it spiritual over here too. Everything ain't a key, all right? But when it comes to things like that, like, everybody's just not meant to be in your life the entire book. When you read a book, some characters are not in certain chapters for a certain reason. There's a reason for that, because the role that they're playing in your life at one moment, somebody else is meant to play it at a certain moment, and they're meant to go be off in someone else's life. So a good time, not a long time. Now, the old me versus the new me, I feel that I have changed a lot when it comes to my expectations of friendships. Um, this is sad to say, but a lot of my friendships come and go. Like, here one second, gone the next. And I'm really like a person that walks this whole, thing alone a lot of the times. I really don't be having nobody to call upon. Like, I don't. And people probably think I just be surrounded by a bunch of people. I don't. I'm usually surrounded by this little wiggly box over here all the time. That's my bestie. We locked in for life, sister. But it's like, I battled with the old me versus the new me for so long, because the old me craved friendship so bad that I would lower my expectations for those friendships. And the new me will never settle for some shit like that. Like, I will never force myself to stay in a friendship, or force myself to like a friend just because of who they are, or just because I wanted the friend so bad. Like, no. I will go be by myself before I be in a friendship that it's not serving me. It's not serving us as a connection, as a union, because it's not worth it. It's not worth your mental health. It's not worth just the baggage. A lot of stuff, a lot of people, and y'all gonna probably be pissed when I say this, but a lot of your friends that you're friends with is the reason that you cannot get ahead in life, because you're always running to your friend rescue. You got so many enemies because of your friend. And why? You ever see a girl and one of them is way more problematic than the other, and it's like the non-problematic friend probably would have so many coveted friendships if she wasn't friends with the problematic girl. Like, girl, here you stir up so much drama. You got your homegirl beefing with the whole city, and she don't even got nothing to do with it. Like, the old me settled, the new me, get that shit out my face. I'm not settling for no friendships. If I have to move on to better myself, I'm going to move on to better myself, and it's as simple as that. All right, babies, it's time to get into the game. Shawty, let's go ahead and get into vibe check. All right, Right, so in this vibe check, we're going to be playing What Would My Homegirl Do? I feel like out of all the games that I've created, this one is my favorite. Like, I literally love this topic, this little game. All right, so the first question for What Would My Homegirls Do is, let's say you're growing, you're focusing on yourself, you're healing, and then a friend says that they still want that old version of you and they expect that old version of you. How are you going to respond? How are you going to react? Let me know down in the comments. So the way that I would react to something like that is I would be like honest with my friend about it. It's like I am how I'm trying to think, y'all, because I this is kind of twisting my brain too, because I don't think I've ever had this happen to me where a friend was like, girl, I don't like the way you change it and how you also I don't be having a lot of friends. And I just feel like a lot of people probably will say the shit behind your back but not in your face, first and foremost. But if somebody were to say that to me, I feel in my heart at this moment, I would just have to be honest and transparent about the journey that I'm on. Is either you rocking with me or you're not. Like I'm not gonna change the trajectory of that's a big word of my life and what I'm doing and the things that I'm trying to accomplish to settle to what your expectations are to settle to what your expectations are of me. Just because you see me in this certain way, this certain version of myself, this past version of myself does not mean that I'm supposed to stay that past version of myself for the rest of my life. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. Um, I do feel that real friend is not going to do that because a real friend is going to know where you've been, the journey you have walked, and they will understand why you move the way that you do. A real friend is not going to tell you they don't like the way that you're going, unless it's something that's really, really like you're going backwards. Like I see, because I can understand like if you're going backwards, but if it's true to what the quote is saying, you're moving forward, you're healing, you're growing, you're leveling up, and a friend is telling you they like the old version of you, better get that hoe from around you, sister, because that ain't want to keep in company, honey. You better get her from around you. Get her from around you, because she is one of those ones, those energy vampires, what they call them, energy vampires, the people who want to steal your energy, and if you're not giving it to them no more, they're upset about it. Yeah, get that girl from around you. The next scenario is going to be, what are you going to do if you are in a friendship that is only solid because of its history, not because the present moment or the future it may hold? So let's say you are friends with somebody who you've been friends with for decades, since childhood, but the only thing that y'all have is history. Like in this present moment, y'all don't hold anything. The friendship isn't valuable to you. It's not valuable to that person either. And the future doesn't hold anything because you don't see a connection building stronger. It's kind of like stuck, stagnant, and you just keep clinging on to the past and this connection. Do you come open and like open up about that to that friend? Or are you going to tell them, like, hey, I just feel we have grown apart, it's not me, it's you type shit. Like how do y'all feel, or what would be y'all reaction to a situation like this? Because I personally have never dealt with something like this. Um, but I do feel that if a friendship has run its course, we're going to go back to what I spoke about. Just because you're not friends in this season does not mean you won't be in the next. And sometimes friendships is here for a good time, not a long time. And sometimes they may circle back around, but at a certain point you got to understand when it's time to let a friendship go. And I think that conversation is probably more tough than in a relationship, to be completely honest, because I don't know, something about a friendship, especially when you've been friends with somebody for so long, but you sometimes you just gotta be honest and, hey, look, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. I can't be burdened with what you got going on. You seem like you can't show up for me. I can't show up for you. And no bad blood, still love you dearly. But I feel like even just saying this out loud is like a tough conversation to have. Like I'm having trouble even putting it into words. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like how would you break it to your friend that y'all are outgrowing each other? Especially if it's not like a bad outgrow, it's more of a we're just not in the same space. Like it's not no one leaving anyone hanging. It's just all we have is history and that's it. Let me know how you would handle or react, or what you would do if you were put in a situation with a friend or somebody that was close to you. All right, ladies, so let's go ahead and get into girl code. For girl code this week, we're going to be giving 3 takeaways that you can remember. We're going to make this kind of rapid. I've been talking a lot in this episode, and I'm trying to keep the episodes at least like 30 to 35 minutes. Like, I'm not trying to go over an hour because that's insane. Um, the first girl The first girl code to take away this week is not everyone is meant to grow with you. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. And we already spoke on that. The second girl code to take away this week is outgrowing people does not make you a bad friend. Outgrowing people does not make you a bad friend. And the third girl code this week is the right people won't make you feel bad for growth and growing and healing and evolving and leveling up. The right people will not make you feel guilty about that. They will uplift you, they will celebrate you, even if that means that they're not in your life at that moment or for that chapter or that season. I hope y'all did enjoy this episode. This one was a little bit more deep. I wasn't as funny in this episode because I was kind of being sirs, okay? But I hope y'all did overall enjoy this episode. Make sure y'all, comment, let me know what y'all think about this episode below. Shout out to y'all sisters, my home girls. Love y'all dearly. If you are watching this video, if you are listening to the audio, I just nicknamed y'all the home girls because that's y'all's name. I hope y'all know that. It's literally what my homegirls do in the game. Of course, y'all are my homegirls. Okay. But I hope y'all did enjoy this episode. Thank you for tuning into the Girl Talk Oracle podcast. I'm your host, Kiera, and I will catch you back for another one. Have a great week, ladies.